Thursday, 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Want to make sure.
Alright, what's up guys? Another day in Vegas. Yeah, today we're gonna play the $1,100 mystery bounty here at the Aria. It's gonna start in 2 hours. Just gonna get my ticket, gonna register now. And yeah, not too much talking today. I think we're gonna get right into the action. We start this mystery bounty with over 150 big blinds, but the mystery bounties are only in play after you're in the money, so I have some work to do and we start with King 10 offsuit on the button. Cutoff opens to 500 and I just want to take a flop here with that hand and call as well. Big blind also defends his blind and we go to a flop of Jack 10 3 rainbow. Both players check to me and with second pair, let's see what the turn brings, and I check back as well, taking a free card. The dealer puts down an inconsequential looking 5 of clubs now. Big blind decides to lead for 1.3k, cutoff didn't connect and folds, and after checking back second pair, good kick out the flop, and disguising our hand a little bit, we can never fold to this bet, so we make the call. The river is definitely an above average one with the king of hearts. Big blind is not afraid of the overcard and bets again, this time for 3.6k. For me, the big blind has a lot of Jack X hands in his hand that should check, but I'm always raising my hand here since we improved a lot, but I decide to go small to 10k. He actually thinks forever and looks really invested. As played, I also shouldn't have that many king X because I would have just bet those hands on the flop like king queen or even open enders to deny equity from other hands, but after at least 2 minutes he lets it go and we win also our first hand in this tournament. Under the gun opens to 700, button makes the call and I look down at 6-5 of diamonds. Even after one orbit I have enough information to know that the button player is definitely way to lose and the guy you wanna play pots against. I decide to get aggressive out of position and 3-bet to 3k. Under the gun has a hand though and makes the call, and the button player of course for this price comes along as well. Out of position we flop an open ender on 7-8 king with 2 hearts. I can have a lot of strong hands here, so I decide to c-bet for 3.1k. Under the gun very quickly makes the call and then the button min raises to 7.2k. It already looks so nutted to me that I'm just praying for a 4 on the turn to get his whole stack as I make the call, and so does the under the gun player as well because the price is so good. The turn unfortunately is the biggest brick in the world with the deuce of spades. I decide to check, under the gun checks and now button bets 12k. I have an easy fold here and let's just end it here. They both had ace king and didn't 4-bet me pre-flop, so you know the table is really good. In the next hand we open 10-8 of spades from middle position. Hijack decides to 3-bet to 2.2k and it gets folded back to me again. This is a common mistake in my eyes, a lot of players do here because his sizing is only 3x and his 3-bet is just too small. You should at least make it 2.8k here since we're so deep stacked for that sizing. I can never fold. We go heads up to a good looking flop for our hand in our range of 8-9-5 rainbow. I check and he decides to c-bet for 1.6k. I could raise here to deny the equity from all the overcuts in my eyes, but I make the call and we go to a beautiful turn which is the 7 of clubs. I think this is a perfect card to lead since he will rarely have 6s in his range for a straight and he will check back a ton of his range. So I take the initiative and bet 3k and he just quickly makes the fold, so a raise on the flop probably would have gotten the job done as well. Nice pot. In this one I open ace king from under the gun, still in the same blind level. The hijack makes the call and so does the big blind, which really is an action play I want to get involved with early. We flop top pair to kicker on king 7-3 rainbow and decide to c-bet for 1k. Surprisingly the hijack and the big blind both are interested and make the call. Still 3 ways, we go to a turn which is the 8 of hearts. Big blind checks to me and I see no sign in slowing down since I can get a lot of value from worse king x and flush draws, so I decide to bet again for 4.2k this time. Hijack folds very quick as I put out the bet and the big blind surprisingly raises to 11k now. It's a dicey spot in my eyes, although I have such a strong hand on that board, but stacks are getting shallow already, so I have to make my decision now if I want to go with it or not. This player was making a lot of strange plays already, so I thought my hand is way too strong and obviously gonna call all in on a clean river. So I make the call and the river is indeed one of those with the 10 of clubs. Big blind decides to bet again for 13k and as you can see in the video I counted my chips and I don't have much left, so I just gotta stick it in and hope we're good, and we are, as the big blind surprisingly overplays king 6 of hearts. That's no good, sir. In the following blind level, under the gun opens to 1.3k, +1 makes the call, I make the call with king 8 of hearts and so does the hijack as well. 4 ways to an interesting flop of 8-9-5 with 2 diamonds. Everyone decides to check and the turn is a 3 of hearts. Under the gun checks again and now +1 decides to bet very small for 1.2k. So again, very small bet compared to the size of the pot and there are still hella draws out there, so I make the call with second pair. Hijack makes the call and under the gun after checking twice out of position comes along as well. The river is the king of diamonds, so river a good 2 pair, but the front door flush gets there as well. Under the gun checks a 3rd time, not worried about him, and +1 checks as well. I really don't think the hijack had a flush draw on the flop since they most of the time betted in position, but since he checked back, I think I have a thin value spot here, and if I get raised, I think I have an easy fold. So I stick to the plan and bet 3k. Hijack folds, under the gun folds as well, and now it's back to +1 and he quickly raises to 8k now. I could have a lot of flushes myself here, so I think he's never bluffing in that spot. I maybe tank for 30 seconds and then indeed let it go. In the following hand we peel pocket jacks in the big blind. Under the gun decides to limp in, the button calls as well, and now it's back on me in the big blind, and yeah, the price is going up a little bit, so I raise to 4.2k. Now the under the gun player does something very strange and limp 3 bets to 10.8k, and this is when I started recording the hand. Yes, people be limp trapping in those spots a ton, but I have the 4th best hand in hold'em. I ask him how much he has behind, and with around 40k I think there's only one move. I decide to jam. After an insanely long tank he lets go of its cards and later told me he folded ace queen, which is a great result all in all for me. Sign blind level, hijack limps in and I decide to raise a7 offsuit to 3k on the button. The hijack makes the call and we go heads up to a flop of jack 10-7 rainbow. He checks and with bottom pair take a free card and check behind. Turn is the queen of clubs and now he leads for 3k. There are a lot of arguments for folding already and this is probably the best play, but there are also so many draws available, so I'm sticky one time and make the call. The river is an ace, which in general is amazing, but he continues betting for 5k. It is a rather small bet, but as you can hear in game, I really don't like it. He could still bet worse 2 pair hands like jack 10 or queen jack for value, so I can probably never fold on that river, but we unfortunately lose against king 9 offsuit. We chip down a little bit again and with 40 big blinds I decide to ISO raise king queen offsuit to 4k after low jack and hijack both limped in for 1k. Now the small blind jams for 22.4k and might seem like a loose call, but it's less than starting stack and it's the same guy who folded ace queen offsuit pre-flop against me after 3 betting it, and he's definitely tilted, so I decided to give him action and we're up against pocket 8s. After hitting a king and then the opponent goes runner flush, we definitely need a spin with only 16 big blinds as we peel 5-9 of hearts in the big blind. We defend the min raise from MP and go heads up to a flop of 8-3-3 with 1 heart. I check and expect MP to bet his whole range here, which he does for 1.1k. Only facing a 1 big blind bet and having half starting stack, I like to peel here and maybe check raise some draws on the turn, but it doesn't even come to that as the dealer puts down the 9 of clubs. Absolutely loving my hand now and I'm going with it as well. I check again and now he takes the bait and bets 3.5k again. With over 10k in the middle and only a pot size bet behind, I want to raise my hand here and basically go all in. I raise to 11k, leaving a little bit behind in my opponent's snap folds. We chip up nicely and on those paired flops, people tend to fight a lot multiple streets, so even if I would have turned a flush draw or a 4, I probably would have went for it. A few hands later, we pick up jacks from MP and min raise to 2k. The same guy who won the flip against me 3 bets to 6k and it's back on me. With 24 big blinds effective, you all know what's coming, this spot is printing, so I jam and he calls and we're flipping against ace king this time.
This time I have a pair.
After finally winning a flip in Vegas, we open king 8 of clubs from under the gun to 2.4k. Cutoff matches the bet and the big blind defends as well, and we go to a flop of king 9 deuce rainbow. Very good flop overall for my range, so I go small for 2k. The cutoff decides to call and I've mentioned the big blind a couple times already, he's a sticky player so he comes along as well. Still 3 ways to return, which is another 9. Big blind checks and both players in this spot could have a 9 here, so I really hate that card to be honest. I check as well and now the cutoff, who seemed like a solid player, bets big for 10k. Big blind folds and to be honest it's already a little bit uncomfortable, but I underwrap my hand here a lot and a lot of players also give up on the river if they're bluffing, since in my eyes, if I call this bet I have a lot of kings in my range. I make the call and the river is a total brick with the 3 of hearts. I check and now he quickly bets for 16k. I don't know guys, my senses are on because the bet was placed very quick and I just think with a 9 he goes way bigger in my eyes. So I rule him out having a 9 and the only thing he could be value betting here is hands like king queen or king jack, and even those seem a little bit thin to me. In those spots when I don't find a ton of value, I usually end up calling, also in this spot, and the cutoff shows ace deuce of clubs for bottom pair, so he obviously was bluffing. So we thankfully pick up the right spot to call down with top pair and win a very nice pot. Still in the same blind level, under the gun opens to 2.5k, +1 calls. I make the call with deuces to hopefully make a set. Through yours to a flop in position of 7, 6, 9 rainbow. Both players check to me and my range actually smashes that board. I can have all the sets, 2 pair combinations and straight, but I was like, let's take a free card, and if they check again we can still steal it on the turn. I don't even need to steal it since the dealer puts down a deuce of hearts on the turn. Under the gun bets for 4.2k now, +1 folds, and I definitely could raise here, which I maybe should have done since there are a lot of cards that either could kill my action or still make me lose if he somehow has an open ender. I just make the call and thank god the river is a good one with the 6. We boat up and he checks now. Looks kinda weak to me, but I obviously have to just bet my hand for value, and I decide on a sizing for 15k since I wanna get called. The moment I place the bet, he immediately turns off his video or music he was listening to, as it looks like, because he has a decision. He starts talking to me, trying to get a read of me, but guys, it's definitely easier and stare down at one spot waiting for him if you have the goods. After a longer hand, he sticks it in and I show my board and we're good and we drag down another nice one. In the next hand I was still writing down notes from the deuces hand, so I only have a screenshot unfortunately. Sitting pretty well with almost 4 starting stacks already. Under the gun this time opens to 3k, cutoff calls, and I call pocket 7s, hoping we can do the same thing as we did with deuces, and this time we get it right on the flop as the dealer puts down ace 7 3 rainbow. Surprisingly both players check to me and one, this is not my board, and I decided to get sneaky and check behind. The turn then is the king of clubs. Undergun checks again and now the cutoff bets 3.5k. A flush draw and multiple combo draws are possible as well, so I decided to raise small to 10k. Under the gun folds, and after a little bit of time the cutoff just rips it and I snap call and he shows kings and we lose half of our stack. Really frustrating hand all in all, because if he would have played his hand accordingly and 3-bet pre, I probably would have just folded my hand, but just never getting away from that post flop. Now sitting at exactly 20 bigs, hijack opens to 4k. The same guy who had kings last hand calls again and I peel ladies in the small blind. Just a dream spot for me with an opener and a flatter. I decide to jam for 41k. Hijack folds, and as it is back on the cutoff he counts out calling chips and thinks. Praying for a call here since we could get everything back what we lost last hand, and we get the chance as he sticks it in and we go to the raises against ace jack, so it's a great chance to double up. And there it goes. Our tournament live from 4x starting chips to 0 chips in 2 hands.
Alright guys, just busted. Very brutal runouts here. I think the set over set hand, crazy that he called only with kings. Obviously I think I have the best hand there 99% of the time. Very happy to get it in, to be honest. And yeah, then against the same player, we exchanged numbers against the same player, friendly guy. I jammed queens, 20 bigs, and he called a raise from +1, I think. Called on the cutoff with ace jack suited. Definitely reasonable call there, ace jack of hearts. But yeah, ace in the window. And we would have had like 50 bigs again, but so it is sometimes. Very happy with how I played today, although I definitely played my A game. Both tournaments, the Prime and the Mystery Bounty. I think I played very good. Definitely fine with how I played. Definitely very happy how I played today at the Mystery Bounty, and yeah, I think that's it for this one, guys. If you still like the action, if you still like the video, leave a like, leave a comment. I read every comment. I like when you comment. Doesn't matter what kind of constructive criticism or whatever. And yeah, follow my channel to always stay updated. See you guys in the next one.